Welcome, everybody. This is your main man, Anthony, aka AAC, in the place to be. You one and only host with the most, coast to coast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, on AAC Interviews, we have the one and only, first time ever. We've been planning this for a minute now. Minute.
8 months in the making.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah. Back at the Fun Boy shows.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this evening, or night, whenever you choose to listen to it.
Right.
Stoneface Killer!
What up?
So, how is your day today? Because, believe it or not, usually we record these things, like, after the upcoming show or anything like that, but today we're actually doing it before the show.
Well, to be honest, man, like, looking at this fucking lineup we got, man, like, it's got my nerves going a little bit, but other than that, like, I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to what we got going on tonight.
Hey, you were telling me a few things before we actually started rolling here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump into it before I get into a couple of questions.
Shoot.
Alright, you were saying something about tonight being a new Stoneface. Care to elaborate on that for anybody out there in the interweb lands?
Well, in regards to that, like I said, it's just my first 3 tracks that I performed at Hollow Bleed 2 last year. That had my get out of the gate. Now, those 3 tracks will still be performed tonight, but I've got 2 additional tracks that I kind of evolved on. Like, I stopped being this kind of clammed up and afraid of what people might think. Now it's just you're getting the raw Stoneface. You're getting the raw, like, just unfiltered. Love it, hate it. This is what I've brought, and this is what's gonna go down.
This is me. This is the real me, and there's nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly.
All right. Now, with the evolution of Stoneface, if you don't mind me saying, the evolution part, is it all just rhythm, rhyme? Is it the person itself?
I see it more as all the way around. Like, the rhymes have gotten a little bit darker, but for me personally,
gonna have them women coming in, clean up your act, mister.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's if they don't run. Like, it gets dark. Anybody who, like, had followed me in the first 3 tracks, Welcome to My Mind, Annihilation, Graveyard, they got the just starting out Stoneface, and I hope that if they're still following me, that they like what I've evolved into. And I've released 3 additional tracks since those, 2 of which I'll be performing tonight. One was I'm just gonna call it a really, like, personal, dark, demented time that I was in, and it took a toll on my personal life. So, like, I think that was a turning point. I think that allowed me to open the door to be this wicked and raw, like, just unveil that other side and not be as clammed up, honestly.
So it's definitely a personal change for you.
Yeah, it's all the way around. I've brought my personal change to the music, and with just everything in regards to that, it's only gonna get darker from here, if I'm being honest.
I am definitely curious to see that. For those that don't know, tonight's show is the Hollow Bleed 3 here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's going to be off the chain.
We cannot leave out the shout out to the bomb that's going to be dropped on that place when Loon Squad hits the stage.
Yeah. Those that don't know, Boogie and Crawley. Crawley, I had on my first interview. He was saying he was dropping hints that something was going on behind the scenes, but he wasn't like he didn't want to touch on it. Yeah. But he was dropping hints, mad left and right. I threw out that whole comment of shit dropping at Hollow Bleed. Yeah. It's like maybe.
And like I am. Speaking of Crawley, like, let's jump on that, because that's the story that I told you that I wanted to make this interview.
Well, let's give the people a little backstory. Okay. The song that we're going to be referring to is Crawley's I'm Hungry and Stoneface's
Welcome to My Money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I did a mashup of both of those songs because they use the same instrumental. I did a mashup, sent it to them, they both liked it. And we were able to put it out on AAC Music Entertainment's YouTube page.
Which, by the way, go look it up. Give this boy some love. He did a fucking awesome job on that shit.
Thank you, man. But, he's got a story, so let's go ahead and get into that.
Alright, let's flash back to Hollow Bleed 1. The very first one. Crawley is the opener. And I hear his set. I approach him. The dude's down to earth, and the I think it was the second song in his set that night was I'm Hungry. Well, I get talking to him, and fast forward maybe 2 months, 3 months down the line, and this guy was nice enough to send me that beat, and ultimately, I have to thank him, because that was my start. That was the start of Stoneface. And without that, without Crawley being the good dude he is, there's no way Stoneface be where he's at today.
Really?
Yeah, because I've bounced so many ideas off him before going to the studio, before jumping on stage. He's been a mentor to me. Same as Buck. Buck has helped me out a shit ton. He put me in contact with Slick, and I brought that instrumental to Slick. I typed out my verses on paper and printed them off, and brought it into the studio. Between Crawley's instrumental, Buck's hookup to get to Slick, and then Slick being the master he is at what he does, it was the launch that I needed. It showed me that, hey, I'm gonna pursue this, because I know damn well I'm good. I just keep evolving and keep reimagining the music. It's gonna be a launch. So from all three of them, I gotta thank at least Buck and Crawley and Slick, and now I've got to thank Jay Digital, because he's now my full-time studio master. I go through him because I go to him now. He's part of Slick's outfit down at Evo, and I go to him because me and him, that mesh is there, that chemistry in the studio.
You have a bond with him.
Yes, and like, to put it in perspective, I could go in there having one of the worst days of my life, and Jay will bring me out of it, recenter me, and say, hey, unleash on the mic, get back to what you're feeling later. Like, he has that ability to, we have that chemistry. Like, he can get in my head, recenter it, and just absolutely let me unleash. So, and the first track I did with him was Annihilation. I had rode down on my motorcycle from eastern Iowa all the way down to Louisville, caught in a rainstorm for more than half the way.
I remember you saying something about that.
Dude, it was miserable, but I get to Jay and I apologize for being late and whatnot. He's just like, don't apologize for it, just get in there and do your thing. And we run through it the first time, and Jay's just like, is that all you got? Like, I know you just didn't ride down through.
He was pushing you like, come on, you gotta get this out. You can get this out.
Right, and he's just like, let's run through it again, but don't clam up this time. It's just you, me, and the mic. Let's go. And that second take through Annihilation is what made the release. And you wouldn't have guessed it. I had the shit day that I had. Like, just the intensity on that, the way that Jay brought me out of that, it was amazing. So, but back to Crawley, man, like, he helped launch Stoneface. And I do thank him for that. I can't thank him enough for what he's done.
Big love, big shout out to Crawley for, helping, spreading the love, doing
what's meant to be done in the underground. What's meant to be done in the Jug fam. Like,
I was gonna say, like, I know I've touched on this the past 2 interviews I've done, and I'm gonna keep touching on it, because this music is by far a cutthroat industry, flat out. Whether you're major label, independent label, or just on your own, it's cutthroat, flat out.
Yeah.
And we don't get enough people sitting there willing to help others out, willing to drive other people, willing to get behind somebody, not gaslight them in like bullshitting way, but like, hey, you got something, you got talent, here's a little something for you, a little kick down or freebie or whatever, just something to help push that shit on.
And it's not even like, and like, I'm sorry, Crawley, but I gotta say it, like, he bounced that beat down to me for free. No money involved, just out of pure love. And like you're saying, like, just something that small that could help someone launch and do what they want to do in life. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't.
No.
And like, me being who I am, I've been real with him, he's been real with me, and he doesn't bullshit. Same as Buck. Buck doesn't bullshit. And it's just all about how you take it. You've got to take what they say with a grain of salt and learn and grow from it. If you shut down, get defensive, that does nothing for your growth. You've got to take it, because they've been there. They've done that. Buck's been doing this damn near as long as I've been alive. I just turned 28 on the 11th.
Holy shit, I'm actually older than somebody. Sorry, I had to go there.
I mean, dude. Older than you. I mean, dude, it just with Buck being in it 25 years, he's had to been doing something right to last that long in this game. Because like you said, it's cutthroat. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep doing what you do. And Buck has probably heard a bunch of shit in regards to, hey, this is what you're doing, maybe tweak it a little bit. What did he do? He took that advice with a grain of salt, whether it was good advice or bad advice. He grew from it, and that is why Buck is the boss of the underground at this point. Like, he's got his claws in everything. 25 years in this biz, you don't fucking do it without doing something right. That's best as I can put that.
It's like, I actually didn't meet Buck until 2016. Yeah. I haven't gone on to this story like in a long time, but I met him in 2016. Same day I actually met Cruz for the first time too. Manchester Music Hall, Lexington, Kentucky. Hard Target was doing a show there, and where he's my homie and everything, wanted to go there, and that's how it all kind of clicked up. But I didn't realize this. But back when I was working a lot with Busy Bone, Seven Sign Regime, 2007, 2008 area.
Yeah.
Busy produced a track for Buckshot.
Oh, damn.
And I did the hook for it. I was only 17 at the time. So I didn't know my ass from hole in the ground, being honest. I was still learning shit under his tree, under Busy's tree and Seven Sign Regime and all that. And I was just going through my old catalog one year. It was after I had met him in person. I was just going through the old catalog of unreleased shit. Buckshot. Wait, what? So I played it. And granted, you know, you can definitely tell he sounds a lot younger.
Right.
But it was him. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't even know that. I played it for her, and she's like, no. And he even talks about, you know, mob style. He even talks about Louisville, and I'm like, that is Buck.
Right.
Like, holy shit. I worked with him without even knowing I worked with him way back in the day.
Right.
And it's like, the fact that he showed love like that and was willing to do that with somebody that was absolutely no name.
Right.
You know, that's giving back to the community, like we were talking about, the underground community of, hey, get your hustle on.
Yep.
Be real with motherfuckers and just get your grind on.
Yep. And I mean, we can't, like, us as artists, we've got to take the good with the bad and
the downright ugly.
Yeah, I was gonna tiptoe around that, but I mean, you're being real. Like, it's not all just easy.
Flowers and daisies and
fucking,
recording time.
You're not just gonna walk up a paved road to a pot of gold. Put it that way. You're going down a bumpy ass country road. You're gonna fall on your face a couple times. But at the end,
you're gonna fall out of the ride and have to chase it down a couple times.
Yep. But at the end, it's all in the name of the love for the music, of what we do. And I honestly think that the underground is where the realest motherfuckers are. Because we're not following trends. We're not following what sounds good now. We are sticking to our roots. We aren't jumping the boat. And if we pop off, so be it. But at least we can say, hey, I never sold out. I never sold out to go to mainstream. I will keep doing what I do. I'll keep talking about blowing brains out, taking axes to people until the day they put me in the hole. Why? Because it's me. It's who I am. It's what's in my motherfucking head 23 hours a day. I say 23 because I gotta send 1 hour with my lovely wife and our kids.
I was gonna say you gotta send that whoop-de-whoop away, you know.
Right. You gotta calm it down. Get out of your head for at least 1 hour a day. But yeah, like,
unless you're like me when you got like 20,000 trains running all the time in your head.
Yeah, and they're all near misses because they're crossing tracks.
Exactly.
And then you don't get no time.
Yep. But
I mean, if I may quote from a documentary, Dr. Dre's wife said it best. A music genius is a hard person to deal with and live with. Because the creativity comes and goes, and when it comes, you just gotta let it be what it's gonna be.
Right.
I've been laying down in bed, and just all of a sudden, like, we're getting ready to go to bed. Just all of a sudden, oh, I got something.
Yep.
Gotta get up and do it, because
it may not be there in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
You may not have that same energy for it.
Well, it's just like, when I send off and get a track, like, I've now, because I can type on my phone a lot quicker than I can handwrite, so, like, I'll listen to a beat that I get back from Mr. Michael Seven Summers himself.
Whoop whoop! Shout out to Michael Seven.
I mean, he's found a new sound, and the underground isn't ready. It's not. Like, Seven Seven will blow your brains out just with a beat. Let alone you put the greats on it, like Let's Go, Boondocks, Buck, those two, Hell's Kitchen. Seven found a sound with them that works wonders, and it's just taken off from there. It really is.
Now, see, something on that note that actually surprised me, like, when Boondocks put out his, not his latest album, but his second to latest album, what's it called? It's escaping me at the moment.
You're talking about the one before So Much Blood?
Yeah.
Shit.
Crimson Crow.
There you go. Yeah, with Red October.
Yep. When he was in the production side of that, he asked Facebook, like, what artists would you like me to work with? I just jokingly, because I thought at least one song of them would be a good collab if it could be done right.
Mm.
I threw out my buddy Hard Target.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they got a fucking track together. Yeah. Not only that, but I didn't know this until the CD actually dropped, but Hell's Kitchen album.
Mm-hmm.
Hard Target's on there too.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yep.
Bro, you didn't even tell me this.
Right. But that's just like
it's coming full circle with like how we're all helping each other.
Exactly.
And it's the real recognizes real, especially in the underground community.
Exactly. And I mean, in testament to that, Travis, Buck's stage guy and merch manager and all that shit, Travis heard my shit and he's pulled some strings that I can't thank him enough for. Latest case in point for him, he got called on last minute to drive Boondocks around for his last little 4-show tour. And the first one was Davenport, Iowa. 10 minutes from my house.
So that's how you actually got up on there.
Yup, because the promoter at the time didn't know it. He didn't know it that two of their acts had dropped off that tour. So my job was to fill at least one slot of it. And Trav was just like, look, kid's 10 minutes away. He's not looking to get paid. He just wants exposure. Put him on. And sure as shit, the promoter let me on in my hometown to rock that stage for 15 minutes. Granted, Trav watched me probably bust my knee. That's a funny story. I hopped off stage to walk around and jam with the crowd. As soon as I leaped to get back on that stage, I landed on the banner with my right foot, and the banner slipped, and I caught my knee on the edge of the stage. And I kept going like nothing happened, but I tell you, the next day and a half or 2 days, I was feeling every ounce of that hit. But
see, I got a messed up knee myself, so I feel that, man. Like, just having you tell me that, I'm like rubbing my knee like, ah.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the realest motherfuckers are in the underground. Whether it's the artists themselves or people like Trav. Like, he could have very easily said, I don't know, maybe this kid. But no, he pushed that promoter. He helped me in my hometown get recognition. And not a couple days after that, I got a message over Facebook Messenger to do another show, which I did last weekend in Davenport at the Redstone Room. And I mean, it was just because I got recognition from what Trav did. He helped me out in my hometown. So, like
you said, that gave you exposure.
Yeah, big shout out to Trav on that, because, like you're saying, the underground helps each other out, and Trav is no exception. He helped me out. Him doing that just says all you need to say about the underground.
And see, before we get off topic and go into a couple questions, that's exactly what I'm talking about with, like, what we're doing now with the interviews.
Yeah.
Like, I've said this on the last one. You know, I was just thinking about doing this kind of shit. Wasn't sure about it. Thought I was gonna get no's. She kind of pushed me towards the Crawley show of like, hey, ask him. Hey, ask him. Hey, ask him.
Right.
I pussyfooted around on it. Being honest, I pussyfooted, around it. She was.
There's two things you pussyfoot around. Don't front. There's two things you pussyfoot around.
Yeah, because
due
due to the fear of hearing the no.
Right.
No,
Because I don't want to ride people's coattails.
Right.
I'm really strict about that.
Right.
I really am. And she kind of dropped hints to Crawley that I wanted to ask him something and shit like that, and that just kind of forced me to just ask. Well, it demented her that I was doing it with Crawley, and Maniac was like, hey, where's our interview? Motherfucker, where's ours? It's like, well, I thought you guys might say no. I thought you guys were kind of out of my league. Same for you. I'm thinking all these people are out of my league, and what's the point of doing that? But at the same time, I'm like, these people need these interviews because it gets them exposure.
Yeah.
I don't care about whether or not it's on my channel or their channel or whatever. I just want to be behind the mic doing something. Right. I want to do something on the back end.
Yeah.
I've gotten more into the engineering side of things lately.
Right, more into the production and...
Yeah.
But I mean, either way you look at it, bouncing back and forth between, like, making music and doing this, I'm gonna be real with you. You're killing it both ways. You really are. Because for me, I watch in the shadows. I watch people's grind. I can tell a lot more by how people work and how hard they push themselves, their work ethic, than when their mouth is running. Because when your mouth is running, you can spew the most beautiful shit and people will believe you. I mean, look at all the politicians. But
this ain't a politic radio. I'm just throwing it out.
No, but and we're not going to go into politics. I'm just saying. I'm gonna call a spade on that. But back to you, like, you're one of the realest motherfuckers that I've watched you grind. I've watched you do you, and I've watched and heard about you stressing yourself out to be sick to that point. Like, you've been stressed out. You can't bullshit me. You've been stressed out a lot.
Yes.
See, even though we are not in constant contact, I still know, I still see the signs, but that earns the most. That
scares me that you can read me, because I'm usually the one that reads other people. Right. I've been teaching her how to read people.
But at the same time, dude, like, you're killing it both ways. Let's just be real on that.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
The latest stuff that you've bounced back and forth to me, I'm waiting for you to pop off. I'm waiting for you to get your music side and get that grind 100% because you've got it. I've heard you. And I know what you can do. Because
don't fucking make me tear up, man.
Look at what you're doing right now, okay? You've done this, third interview?
Yes.
All of which you thought were out of your league, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Look at what you're accomplishing. All three said yes. All three sat down. I'm gonna be real with you. Put this grind on the music side of it. Like, I'm not saying let this production stuff die.
Yeah.
But maybe put 85% to the music. Because I want to see what you can do. I really do. So, how about this? I've got 3 more. Let's just go 1 beat I'll send you. I'll give you as much time as you need. Because you're going to record it first.
Oh shit, that's scary.
Because me, I've already got the verses for these beats. but I'll knock one of my verses out to put a flamethrower from you on it. So, why don't you
Damn.
get on a beat with me and we watch you grow on the music side? Think we can do that? Because that's what I want.
I will definitely try that, man. Like, you have my word on that.
Alright, I'll email you the beat.
Stoneface doesn't get what he wants.
People die if Stoneface don't get what he wants.
Absolutely.
Is that why it's... you know what? Let's throw that question out there and get off the serious topic, because I am seriously tearing up.
And I'm just over here saying thank you. Somebody's getting it through his head.
Finally, somebody else with the same opinion.
I've been telling him that for years, and it to me it feels like it's just going in one ear and out the other.
It's different when it's your spouse. Like, if it's
Yeah.
your significant other, it's like, okay, well, they're just saying that to, like, boost
Yeah.
my ego.
Yeah.
But when you hear it from an outside person, it's more of, holy shit, like, this is legit.
Yeah.
From
So,
somebody
like,
that's
now
like
he's,
also actually established.
Yep,
Right.
now he's hearing it from him.
yep.
Maybe it might click.
It only takes it, like my wife said, like I've been there, I've done it, but then all of a sudden I'm started getting recognized from other artists. She wasn't bullshitting me, and she's been the realest. Like, hey, this sounds like shit. Change it up. Here's what I suggest. Change up the rhythm a little bit. Rearrange the words. She comes at me with the realest constructive criticism that I can ever ask for.
And 9 times out of 10, he takes it because he knows that I don't mean it to be mean or, to be a bitch. It's just I have the end product in mind. And sometimes, like, I remember there was one time that I went to the studio with him while he was in the booth. I was sitting outside listening to it, and I was like, that line's a little fucky. It doesn't really go with the rhythm quite right. What if you alter that line just a little bit? Same meaning, just kind of move the syllables around a little bit. And
Yeah.
he did that, and sure enough, like, it clicked. And it got him more into his groove because it wasn't something that was tripping him up throughout the song.
And I could bring it with more intensity. And by the way, peep that track because you're on it.
I am.
Wait, what?
Yep.
News drop!
Very briefly,
She closed it out.
may or may not hear it tonight.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Barrels loaded. I mean,
Damn.
check that shit out. That.
There might be a quick mic toss.
Yep. Yep.
It's like there's a
Don't
meme
worry
going
about it, we
around.
won't break equipment.
I was gonna say there's a meme going around on the internet about that. Like, anybody that has really ever dropped a mic, anybody that drops a mic doesn't know how expensive that shit is.
Right.
It's
Like,
the
yeah, it's
people-
nice to make a joke, but if you drop a mic, dude, oh my god, that's easily $500+ out
Right.
the fucking door.
Right.
For me, it's the same way with people who can, like, laugh and joke about people slamming guitars on the ground. I'm like, oh, no! That's like thousands of dollars!
Yep.
But anyway, you were
Hard
referring.
drives.
Hard drives, yes.
Yeah.
I got an 8 terabyte external hard drive that's got movies, games, you name it, it's on there.
Yeah.
It keeps all my backups, man. And it's like, anything, she knows. Like, yes, she's my baby, but this is my baby too.
Right.
This is, she's my sweetheart, this is my baby.
Yeah.
You break that, anybody around him,
Run.
just saying, run.
Mm-hmm.
Run far away.
Because when I actually first started doing music and everything, it was on a family PC.
Right.
So I shared it with my brothers, my mom, my dad. And yeah, when we go away, I don't know how many times my brothers would look up pornography,
Mm-hmm.
viruses.
Liked everything. Yeah.
Yep. So that's when I started getting into burning data CDs. I legit still have a 12x12 box. Nothing but burned CDs and DVD-Rs
Yeah.
of just...
Speaking of Crawley, I think that's Crawley.
Yeah. Sorry for that. That'll be cut out. But nothing but burned CDs, man, and data CDs and shit like that. Of just music upon music upon music upon music.
Yeah.
I still haven't even gone through a quarter of it to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
But
you were referring to a question. What's up?
Yes. So we got the details of how Stoneface kind of got started into the music. But what exactly like drove you to be like wanting to actually do the music?
Honestly, the response I got as a whole from my first track. Like I pushed it to all my local family and friends and all that. And I say friends because those are the people that I can count on to be the realist. So when I got that positive response, it just kind of drove me. And that's when I started writing Annihilation. So, like, I've got nothing but family to thank for that. Like, whether they're blood or not, fucking the brothers that I sent it to and the brothers I've developed that bond with in the underground now that have pushed me to keep going. So that's really who I gotta thank for that.
When you were getting started, like, what actually made you decide to, like, hey, I got something here? Like, was it something like, hey, I got something in my head, I got something I want to get off my chest? Was it like, I think I might have a knack for this, let me try it out kind of shit?
Honestly, it was a little bit of everything because like I'll have these intrusive thoughts, if you will, and most of them are pretty fucking violent.
The way he puts it at home is that it's like he has two different personalities. There's his at-home personality that everybody sees, and then there's the stone-faced personality, and there's no mistaking the two. But I remember after the first Hollow Bleed, he watched Crawley hop on stage and do his thing, and he was amazed to find out that that was Crawley's debut. That was his first ever show.
Yep.
And he was like, dude, you fucking killed it, you know? And I remember we went home after Hollow Bleed that year, and he goes, man, it'd be so cool to be on that stage. I said, well, why don't you try? You can do this. I got faith in you. Like, I know you can do this. You've got it in you. And he was like, oh, whatever, you know, talk to Crawley for a little bit.
Blowing smoke up his
exactly.
ass.
Like I said earlier, when your spouse says it doesn't really hold its weight because you feel like they're just trying to flatter you.
Yeah.
But I told him from the start, I was like, no, I believe you can do this. With all of my heart and soul, I know you can. But it wasn't until Crawley hopped in and gave him that beat that he was like, holy shit, like, people actually do believe in me. Like, I can do this. And he's just taken off.
And the reason I think that it put, like, I'm not going to say, like, it showed Crawley how serious I was. I was typing verses for Welcome to My Mind just sporadically. And typing them up and sending them to him. Just here and there. I wasn't like blowing up his inbox with bullshit verses. I made sure they had quality to them.
Yeah, you were just kind of like, is this, you were kind of getting that feel of like, is this right?
Right. And for him to come back and I asked him, would you mind if I get that beat? And he's just like, sure. What's your email? Like, for that alone showed me that, hey, the writing has spoke to him. He's giving me the shot. Let's go. So.
You even asked him how much he wanted for the beat, and he was like, nothing, just do it justice.
Right.
I mean, that takes a lot of belief in somebody, and I'm not going to front on that. Because I'm not going to name drop anybody right now, because I just don't feel like it'd be right due to how personal it is.
Yeah.
But I've gave somebody some free beats. I've done mixing and mastering for them. They got talent. They really do. And I played their stuff for a few people, and it's like, all right, yeah, they do got talent. They got A couple of their songs have an Eminem vibe to it.
Right.
So you know it's gonna pop. The quality of the recording's not there. And the fact that they don't want to push their own music. And when you don't want to, this is how exactly I told them. If you don't want to push your own shit, you're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
You can't expect other people to push your shit. You got to get out there and you got to do that. Because it's your shit.
Right.
You got no name, you got to do it. I've sold tapes, I've sold CDs out of the trunk of cars, on the corners of streets. That was how I started.
Yeah.
Dog, do your shit.
Yeah. If you're not gonna make it in this game if you think you're entitled to clout off one track. You've got to push yourself to get better.
Yeah.
You've got to start, you've got to evolve, and you've got to keep climbing, you've got to keep grinding. If you don't have that much heart to do that, I'm gonna be the realest motherfucker that anybody can't be. If you don't have the heart and you think you're entitled to clout, don't start.
The underground will eat you alive.
Because the underground will eat you alive. Society as a whole will eat you alive. You've got to have heart in this business. You cannot be entitled to shit. Fair enough?
Yeah. Very, very well put. But back on a couple questions.
Sure.
So, how did you actually click up with Boondocks and just getting involved, or not Boondocks, sorry, Buckshot and Mob Style Music? How did all that come about? Where like, okay, the first Hollow Bleed show you seen, you were there and everything. Like, what's the story behind all of that to get you to where you are now?
Well, let's see. At that point, I had been, I listened to Buck when I was living down in Lexington, Kentucky. And I got in contact with him over on Instagram and whatnot. Dude was real down to earth. Just a really good guy. Like, I mean, don't get it twisted. He'll snap your neck, you do him wrong. Let's not shade that. Like, he's a savage. But he also has his good side. But you've got to walk on eggshells when you're on that good side. Because as soon as those eggshells break and you get on his bad, there's no coming back.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to your question. So I was talking to him since 2017. 2019 rolls around. First Hollow Bleed. Well, no. It was 2020, wasn't it? First Hollow Bleed. Because this is number 3. No, so it'd be 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, it'd be 2019.
Don't get me confused on numbers now.
See, I'm not good at math. Don't fuck with me here.
2019, because me and you were just starting out, and that was our second concert ever.
Yeah. So, 2019 rolls around. I see that. I want to go to it. And I get the 2 VIP bundles. I meet Buck. And, of course, anybody can type up good words over messages. Okay?
Yeah.
But like I said, I read people. And the down-to-earth guy that Buck was, even though he was as established as he was at that time, like, he's climbed from there, let's be real. But to have an established artist be that down-to-earth, that real with everybody, like, he really does love his fans. Like, for him to do that VIP meet and greet, I know, I talked to him that night and then just kept messaging him back and forth. And then once I got Welcome to My Mind out and all that, let's rewind before Welcome to My Mind, because I needed his input on who to go to record. When I was serious about getting that out, I asked him, hey, who do you recommend? This is a guy I go through. His name's Slick. Go to him. Wouldn't recommend anybody else. So that's kind of how me and Buck got clicked up. And from there, I've went through him for anything and everything, advice and whatnot. And we just like, for mob style music to be what it is and the influence on me, it's just, I go with that like mentality of a brotherhood, and that's just how Buck is. Like, if you do him right, he'll do you even better, type shit. So
I gotta go on record and say, from hearing this from a few different people now, like, flat out, Buck, you are the master with the motherfucking plan, and you are definitely a father figure in this underground industry, man. Shout out to you and much love to you all the way around, because I'm hearing the same story from a lot of people of like, he'll slightly take you under his wing to give you that guidance, that direction, and wants nothing in return except for you to flourish.
right.
If you're willing to put in the work, and like you said, if you do something wrong, he's gonna correct you, and it's gonna. I have to say, Havoc from Demented said it the best. You can take it either two ways. You can either take your shit and go home, or you can suck it up, understand what he's trying to lay down, and move forward and just try to do better.
Yep. Because his corrective is, he's going to be real with you. And he's going to tell you, hey, this may be what you want to change. And like you just put, you can take those lumps, you can pack it up and go home. That just shows him how much heart you really had for this game. So don't get on that side of him. Show that, hey, I'm taking your advice and I'm going to push through this and I'm going to come back at you with even harder shit. And then you can come back at me with even harder lumps to give.
See, it's all a learning process. Like everything I've done, dude, it's nothing but learning still.
I mean, Buck even helped him when it came to his stage name. Buck said, everybody told me Buckshot was going to be a really stupid name and I shouldn't go with it, but you know what? I kept with it because in my heart I felt that's what was right. And he actually recommended that Stoneface here goes by just Stoneface instead of Stoneface Killer.
Yeah.
His reasoning for which is that a killer doesn't announce they're a killer.
Yep.
I did not think of that.
Yeah, we didn't either until he said that. We were like, oh, okay, well, we'll consider it, think it over for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, the little bit was about 30 minutes. And I was just like, yeah. I was just like, yep, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Record time.
Yep. And I mean...
So, what kind of musical influences have you actually had growing up? Like, what got you into music itself?
Honestly, I was more of a metalhead when I was a kid. I was raised on...
Really?
Yeah, I was raised on Pantera and Alice in Chains, Nirvana. That steady diet. And Metallica's...
I gotta say this flat out. How the hell do you go from, metal and heavy rock like that to this?
Simple. Buck. Because he showed me, through his music, he showed me, you can have the raw, hard-hitting intensity of Pantera, but on a fucking stellar-ass beat, and you can make it fucking hook like a son of a bitch. You can get traction in this game on that, just that pure, unleashed aggression. And I heard it with Jason Mask, the lyrics in Jason Mask. And I'm just like, okay, here we go. Like, it's just that intensity, what he describes, like those lyrics. Like, he doesn't have to be like, let's use Never Safe album, Molotov. He doesn't have to be that way 24/7. He can bring just as much intensity on Jason Mask as he can on Molotov because he's talented. Which showed me honestly that if you've got the talent, if you've got the time and the heart, you can bring the Pantera beat your ass fucking attitude on a rap beat. And that's just where I was at on it. Like, he influenced that change in me. Like, yeah, I was still gonna bring the metal intensity, but I'm gonna put it down on a dope ass beat.
Man, that is a shift. Like, that shows also to your character in the sense of, like, just your personality of, like, okay, yeah, I'm doing horrorcore and I'm doing rap and everything like that, but I have this background. Like me, I have just about, like, every genre. You know, I got 60s, 70s, 80s, jazz, classical, rock, metal, fucking rap out the yin yang, not gonna lie on that.
Right.
But I grew up with all that. So yeah, it's the same concept in that.
Dude.
My girl, man, she was in with a whole different world of culture shock for, you know, once she got with me.
Right.
She's been with some. Now, I don't mean to, like, start nothing. I'm just gonna point this out there though. You are her type. Skinny, tattooed. I don't know if you got any piercings,
Nope.
No.
but that would be her type.
Right.
Bad boys, you know, so to speak. And here she is with a fluff ball like me.
Oh, shit.
But you know, she's always been with the bad boys and all that. Gets with me, and where I really came from, the streets.
Yep. Yeah.
She went to my my family reunion in my hometown Toledo, and she got to actually walk the streets I grew up on. Culture shock galore. She's seen some things that, you know, little kids were doing, like preteen kids.
Yeah.
Fucking blew her wig off, and I'm like, this is just every day here.
Yeah.
It's normal.
What, wasn't we like 2 hours in of being in Toledo?
And
I
seen
looked
a
at you
dead
and
body.
said, I want to go home.
Yep.
I was done with Toledo.
Yep.
And then once that opened the door to where, okay, although she wants to leave, which I get, she's not running away from me.
Right.
So now let's open the door to the music side of things. Because I played a few songs around her by this point in time of, like, Crucifix and Hard Target and a few other, you know, not so known artists at the time. And she liked them. So now it's opening the doors, and she's now aware of, like, this whole underground music scene that she had no idea about. And she's now like, okay, this is awesome. Going to the show, she got to see, like, hey, these are just normal people.
Mm-hmm.
We're just everyday people that we're just putting our love and our feelings, our thoughts into words and putting them on songs rather than going out and killing the whole fucking world.
Right. Right.
I mean, our government does that as it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
know.
say that. I'll probably cut that off.
Yeah. Leave it. Leave it. It's the truth.
After I met Buck, you looked at me and you go, well, how do you think of him? I was like, on stage, he looks like a mean motherfucker. Like, I would thought off stage he would have that.
She was intimidated by
I was
him.
intimidated, but then when he started talking to me, he was a sweet man.
I mean, he's just a big old teddy bear unless you fuck him over, and then you're getting fucking buck slapped, dude. I mean, he will fuck your whole world up.
And then, like, he is tall, and I just looked up, and I'm like, wow. So now the very first picture I have of him, here I am, short ass, and here he is, the tall ass, and I'm like, damn, he looks intimidating by me.
Yep.
Standing by me.
But it opened a whole new world up for her, and like I told her, like, right from the jump, like, if you get with me and I get back into doing the music stuff, it's going to be a bit of a hard life.
Yep.
Because we don't play well with other people's schedules.
No.
We're on our own time frame with a lot of music stuff in general.
Yep.
We're on our own time frame with the creativity. It comes and it goes. Not to mention the traveling, the shows,
Yep.
talking with people, meeting people. She didn't really know how to take it at first, but she just came around quite a bit, and I appreciate that so damn much.
Right, and there's one thing that you didn't hit on, was to be with a musician, to be with someone who's actively grinding. They will put up a creativity shield so that they can go in their own zone and shut the whole world out. And that also means you. There is not many people that can go through what they put up with for us. Like, I've blocked her out. I blocked my wife out for days. I'll be real. But that was because I was grinding and I wanted to get these tracks out that I've gotten out so far. I've wanted to get a few more. I've got a few written up. But that's besides the point. Like, when I was writing them up, she was on the back burner for a few days, and I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's right. But I am saying that comes with this territory.
And I agree with you, because I'm owning up to my own shit. I've done the same thing.
And it's hard for us, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I remember being really upset, like, well, did I do something to make him mad? Did I fuck up somewhere along the line? And I remember sitting down with him before bed after we put the kids to sleep, and I was just like, are you mad at me? And he goes, no, why? I said, you're being really fucking distant. I mean, you haven't kissed me in like 3 days, you don't hug me, you don't kiss, you don't cuddle me anymore. And he's like, I'm just focused on my music. He goes, that's all. Like, you haven't done anything. I'm not upset with you in any way. I really need to focus on this right now and get this banged out.
See, I've kind of figured something out for my end of things of, like, if I know I'm going to be going into that mode, I'll tell her, like, hey, babe, I'm going to be putting these headphones on. I'm going to be working on music. Is there anything you want from me? Is there anything you want to do? Is there anything you want to talk to me about before I do this?
Right.
If she says no, I'll ask her again just to make sure, because I know sometimes she's a little hesitant.
Right.
But if she says no that second time, I go on in.
Right.
So
I mean, I've already learned, like, if he's about to go on stage, don't even fucking, like, look at him or breathe in his direction, because he is in his zone, and if you fuck that up, it's like Emperor's New Groove, throwing him off his groove, you know? Like,
I
it's
agree
not a
with
good
that.
idea.
I really do understand that, because when I used to get on stage with Hard Target and Lax, I had a lot of liquid courage back then.
Yeah.
Now I'll drink every so often, but for the most part, I'm sober anymore. So that brings in a whole nother world of, like, realism of, you know, what the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna look? Am I gonna look stupid just wiggling my damn jiggly self all over the place? You know, shit like that. But it's something I want to do for myself.
Right.
And don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on the time.
No, it's all good. It's just, oh man, I've been counting down this week. Like, this is another side to being an artist that people that aren't in this game don't realize. Your nerves don't just hit the night of the show.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: the nerves are like being on death row for the last week of your life. It's not that dire. It may sound dramatic, but your butterflies are in there just churning your insides up.
Correct me if I'm...
Sorry, he doesn't just count down the days before shows. Like, he's been counting down the hours. We were in the hotel room, and, like, before we went to bed, he was like, oh, less than 24 hours and I'm gonna be on stage, you know? And he woke up this morning and he's like, oh, there's only a few hours before I have to go up there. I'm like, oh my god.
I tell you, he put a post up on Facebook, 48 hours. I was like, Stoneface is counting down.
Yep.
And I put one up today myself, and
So did
I would
Bug.
say
He goes, today's the day.
I would say correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say it's fair to say, like, in the same kind of similar sense, it's not just being on death row, it's like walking that aisle.
Yep.
Every
Step.
is another hour up until you get in that chair, which would be the show. Yeah. This. So it's like, it's a slow walk that you know it's coming regardless.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right, so the name Stoneface.
Yep.
Where did that originate from?
That was back when I was fighting MMA.
Wait.
Yep.
Now we gotta go back even further, boy, because, like, this is the first time I'm hearing this. Like, in a general aspect. When the fuck did you do MMA?
2017. I fought 3 times. Got my ass kicked the first time. But the second fight, I went out and I didn't show any emotion. And I earned the moniker Steven Stoneface Killer Miller.
Damn.
So, because when I walked out that second time to go fight, like I said, it was stone. There was no emotion. I went in there, handled business, and got the fuck out. So
you got some training under your belt.
He still has the moves. Every time he puts on a shirt, it's like a texture thing. I don't know, but like when he puts on a shirt for the first time for like the day or whatever, like he'll wake up and get ready for work and put on a t-shirt, and that's how he gets comfortable in his shirt. Is he just like throws punches and shit.
Yep.
I got broad shoulders, as you can tell, so it's like for shirts.
I gotta get those seams aligned or some shit, because I mean, if they're not sitting just right and it's off, yeah, no.
It irritates you.
It's hilarious though, because I'm the one with autism, but seeing that you'd be like, what the hell?
That's why I wear loose fitting clothes. Like, yeah, I can fit in like a 2X with no problem.
Right.
But I prefer a 3 or 4X because the comfortness, if it's like not sitting right with me, I get very antsy and jittery and just it does not feel good.
Yeah, and that's...
I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, that's basically how it is with me. So, yeah, I mean... But that basically answers that. Like, I took that and I ran with it.
I can't believe you did MMA and like you never said anything, dude.
No.
Like, I would be talking some fighting shit with you too if I would have known that.
And we can do another interview, I promise you. You know, after our track drops.
Just
hit, nudge.
Yeah.
like the day he told me how old he was, because I can't remember how it went. He was like,
I was at 7 at that time, yeah.
He was like, I'm 27. I'm like, damn, I would never thought he was 27. I thought he was like younger.
Nope. Do I need to take off my hat? Because you can still see my receding hairline.
No. I think when you went to move your hat, I seen a little bit. I'm like, now he's showing it. A little bit showing age is coming.
Now, I do have a personal curious question just for myself here.
Shoot.
What possessed you? Because it was the Hollow Bleed show, or no. It was either Hollow Bleed or Mob Style Christmas. I cannot remember right now. You handed me your phone to actually film you.
Do Facebook Live, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been Mob Style Christmas, and it was because I wasn't able to be at that show, and I was like, find somebody to do live so that I can at least be involved somehow, because it breaks my heart when I can't see him perform. I mean, it rips me up.
Well, it was the second time of seeing him, and you entrusted me to handle your phone. Mm-hmm. One, I know how big a phone is for people in our line of work and everything.
That's our life.
That's our, next to actual computer systems, that's our lifeline for so much of our work and our shit. But not only did it entrust me with that, but also something so personal as a cell phone. I was like, what just happened here? So like, I've been curious in my head of like, what possessed him to not like ask anybody else that maybe he knows more?
Honestly, because I read you. I've read you from the jump, and from the jump, you just have that trusting vibe. Like, I mean, put it this way: if that phone would have been a brick of solid gold, I still would have handed it to you, because I knew I could trust you.
For real,
Yeah, you have more faith in I do on that. I wouldn't trust myself, and it's like brick of gold. Okay, no, I'm rich.
I know what he means, though. I mean, this is the first time I've ever like sat in the same room as you and like actually had a conversation, and I feel so comfortable, which is very rare for me. I have really bad social anxiety, and especially around people I don't know.
Just like me with her, you know how I am with people touching my eyes. You know, somebody gets close, I back away. Her shoes, even with the long nails, I let her blend it. I'm like, you know, just by meeting her just that little bit, I feel trust in her. I mean, I'm literally letting her mess with my eyes.
So,
I get it.
I mean, that's just it. Like, I read you from the jump, and take this real quick.
And you're like, hey, can you film me?
Yep, I'll start the live, and I'll run out on stage, give you the phone, and all I need you to do is just man the live for me. I mean,
I thought about typing in the chat to, you know,
right,
promote it a little bit, but I was not sure about that because it's somebody else's phone. So
Right.
like, I'm not going to.
I think he would have been okay with it so long as you're not like going through his pictures and stealing my nudes out of his phone.
Ah, hell no.
You are.
You gotta pay to see those bitches.
That's
That's what OnlyFans is for, motherfucker.
Don't even do it.
We're not here to plug me.
No.
Giggity.
Giggity giggity goo. Speaking of plugs, so how can people get in touch with Stoneface himself? You know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. What you got, man? Plug your shit.
I got basically anything and everything. I got
Let the people know how they find you, man. The names.
yeah. I mean, Facebook is just Stoneface Killer, and that's my artist page. And then Stoneface Killer, 1994 is my TikTok. The personal page is Stephen Miller, and in parentheses I put Stoneface. That's my personal Facebook page, and I would say that'd be the best way for anybody who doesn't have my direct number and whatnot. Instagram, I really don't hop on much anymore, so I'd say the Facebook pages and TikTok would be about the safest bet at that point.
Which, if you do find him on TikTok, you will see the infamous green mob-style bike that he rode down to Louisville from Iowa to record Annihilation.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I'm gonna have to see that because I'm curious.
Oh, man,
Green
it's-
bike.
It's
Green's my color.
Well, there's a Kawasaki ZX6R.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those are nice in general, dude.
Yep. Even with it being an 09, it still gaps motherfuckers today.
I wish I still had my BMW. That thing was a beast.
Yep.
She was a Frankenstein, but she was a beast. But anyways, music wise, anything new coming along? Like coming down the pipe anytime soon? Any albums, EPs, mixtapes, singles?
Ironic what wording he used there.
But it's I've got.
I feel like I touched a nerve there.
You
then.
did!
Yeah.
It's like you knew without knowing.
It's just right now I've got a few tracks that I've still got to record. I've been dropping the new singles on everything, just to keep my fans kind of happy. I know they're not really happy about not having a full album out yet, but
It takes time. It takes
Yep.
work.
Yep, but I've got one that I'm only waiting on one verse, and That was from a feature artist. And
Same one that I'm aware of, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I've showed you that one. Otherwise, I've got, like I said, 2 or 3 more to record, and then I'm gonna group all the new ones together, the ones that I've released, the singles and everything. I'm still gonna just, as I record, I'm gonna bounce them out, like, and then I'm gonna group it all together. I mean,
do you ever do snippets of anything to like just share with people?
On TikTok, he does use some of his songs on
Yeah.
occasion as the audio for the video.
Yeah, but as far as just like going on Facebook Live and having my music in the background, no, that's not my style. My style is, hey, you might enjoy this. Here's the YouTube link.
Well, and it's really cool because he has a friend who's a gamer who goes on live and he chats with a whole bunch of people and plays music in the background. And he's played a few of Stoneface's music, you know, some of those songs in the background. So it helps give him that exposure without it being in your face. It's more of like a subliminal thing, you know. People will message him and be like, hey, I really liked that one song. Who's that by?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that now see that's the way to do it. I'm still trying to get caught up with the new age of promoting and workarounds and shit like that because I'm still in the old age.
Right. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's tried and true, but I mean, it's just got to evolve.
Yeah, I don't think many computers take floppy disks anymore.
Damn.
Just
I mean, I'm
shit in the
old.
mailbox.
I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that fucking old. Damn.
I mean, I'm only 26 and I remember floppy disks.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, when I'm talking like when I started, I started on cassette tapes. Very first shit was on cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Sold that in the hometown. Thanks to Hard Target, I moved up to CDs. And I was selling that out of the trunk of cars and shit.
Yeah.
Got picked up with Seven Sign Regime and all that. Started learning the actual mastering of everything. Started actually doing the engineer work. Co-signed a deal. They pushed my shit, so I didn't know distributing or anything like that yet. This time around with my last album that I put out, all self-taught, all self-done. That took, what, 2.5 years of my life to get everything taken care of, squared away, legalized, all that shit. But where I'm still lacking is the marketing, the promoting, the social engineering of everything.
Right.
I'm not that far yet.
And honestly, neither am I. That's as far as I go. Is just I'll put a YouTube link up on like fucking Facebook as my status, and hey, click. Okay. And that's about as far as I push because I really want to just see not the results, but the feedback, the response from what I release, to see what I need to maybe switch up on for the next track, maybe do a little bit more of, a little less of that type shit, but my promotion method stays the same. I just post a YouTube link because most, if not everybody, uses YouTube. So I know that's one safe link that I can put out there and people will be like, oh, okay. So that's just my promotional. Like I don't call it like lazy promotion because it's not. It's just
lazy promotion is no promotion.
Exactly. And it's just the fact that like I don't want to be the artist that shoves my shit down your throat, whether you like it or not. I want you to be able to come at it with a level head and actually absorb what's on the track. Not go into it with a predetermined mindset to where you block out half the track.
And that way he gets more organic feedback too. It's not like, oh, this is the same thing I hear from everybody else. It's whenever he gets any kind of input, it's always something different. It's genuine. It's not.
See, if anybody sends me anything, like I've ran into this a lot, including with a few personal artists I'm friends with. They want instant feedback. Like they'll send me a song and like, hey, take a listen, let me know what you think. They'll wait about 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, call me and be like, hey, what'd you think? Like, give me a minute. Because I don't just listen to it once. The first time through, I'm usually listening to the beat and the flow.
Yes.
The second time, I'm actually listening to the lyrics and how it matches up with the song itself.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll listen to it a third time and be like, okay, how's the rhythm of it overall?
Yeah.
What's the overall theme going on behind it? I'm very meticulous about that, and I think that's just a me thing, I don't know. But I like to actually listen to it and hear it and understand it before I get feedback on something. So by the time that I'm giving that feedback, if I'm playing it around her, she doesn't know the damn song now.
Right.
That's a good way to play it, though. I mean, that way you actually you don't just hear the song, like you feel it. You know, you see every little note change, or there's a crescendo here, and there's this song here, and some lyrics over here. I mean, you know all of it.
Yeah.
Doing it that way, and that's genius. I wish more people did that.
It's like that input that you gave me. I haven't re-recorded those vocals, but I have split them up a little bit.
Yep.
And it does sound better, so I think once I re-record it actually properly with that, that'll come out just like I was wanting. So I appreciate you giving me that advice and that, direction, because that actually helped me out.
Right. And, I mean, just like we said earlier, the underground helps each other. And it's just little shit like that.
So is there any tidbits that you're able to give out of what is coming up for Stoneface? And should we just start calling you Stoneface since we were talking about that whole name thing earlier? Is it going to be Stoneface Killer, or is it just going to be Stoneface?
Stoneface, that shows. Stoneface was taken as an artist name, so I had to put my official artist name as Stoneface Killer. Either or, it doesn't matter. Just don't call me Jackass. So, as for tidbits of what's coming down the pipe, I've got...
Like, by tidbits, I mean, like, any dates, any specific artists that you can touch on.
I'll hint at one, and it's gonna be, the date is ASAP. And
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. ASAP. Look that date up. Somebody look up that date, so that way I can mark it on my calendar.
And it's that feature track that you know about. So I'm gonna let them know it's gonna be a ride to hell, and riding with me is a butcher and half of a loon squad. That's all I can say about that.
Now, see, I like how you did that, but there's one thing I would have changed to it.
Shoot.
Instead of half of a loon squad, I would have said half of a lunatic.
No, because he's not half a guy. I mean, he's skinny, but Jesus Christ. No, man, like, I just... That track's gonna be dope when I do get it. Get everything ironed out. But as far as the other tracks, it's just... As I can afford to come down to Louisville and record. So that's why I can only date them as ASAP, because it'll legitimately be as soon as possible. And that's humanly possible, that's financially possible. Because right now, to afford just rent, I'm working as a welder for about 60 hours a week on average.
Holy shit.
And then I'm still coming home, being a dad, a husband, and writing new music. It's not easy, but I'm not gonna stop. It's who I am. So it's just part of me now.
Yeah, see, me and on the real talk type shit. Her and I have had this conversation before, and I always remind her, because I like getting into some real shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if this is going or not. I'll be real with it. I'm always afraid she's gonna leave. Yeah. I'm always afraid she's gonna dip out. Just call it and say, "Fuck it, I'm done."
Yep.
And I told her from the get-go, because I was starting to get back into music before her and I got together. I gave up my music once for a marriage that failed.
Yep.
I'm not giving it up again. If you want to leave, I understand.
Yep.
I do understand that it's going to be hard on me. I understand it's going to be hard on both of us. It's going to make us both upset. But if you want to leave, I do understand that.
And
Just
But the
have
right
the
one will
heart to
stand
tell
by
me.
you, and the right one will be your number one fan.
Yep.
That's what I believe, anyway. I mean, that's how I am with him. You know, I mean, it's not something we really fight over or anything like that. It's caused a couple of rifts here and there, but no waves we couldn't get over without a crash.
now, on some real shit, when Killer Love first came out, you said that sounded like a personal song. That's because it was. And that was about the life that we've had together. The life that some like the blocking out. Sorry for the shit that I've done, but now baby it's done. That's because I've learned to let her into the music side. When I'm having like a creativity block, I'll let her in, she voices her advice, and then she just sits back voluntarily. I don't have to block her out. So...
Well, and at this point, I know him well enough to know when to back off.
She's still learning that with me.
Yeah.
But
It takes time, dude.
she definitely has grown a lot in that aspect on that.
Yeah.
With, like, when to chime in, when to not chime in. And she also knows that I have very particular ears for beats and shit like that. So if, like, something's not in pocket or the flow just goes a little off in one section, it may not come off that way to her, but I can hear it. And it's like, no, it's not right. It's not right.
And that's what's really nice about our relationship is if I do chime in and give my advice, he knows that he has the option to either take that advice or not take that advice. And I'm not going to be upset either way because at the end of the day, this is his career that he's doing. You know, it doesn't involve me necessarily. I will help him however I can. I will put in my input, and if he takes it, great. If not, okay, who cares?
Right.
No sweat off my back.
At least we just voiced our opinion. Like, you guys are going off of the music. We're going off on, like, I don't know if
Like
you're
we're in
doing-
the audience.
A fan's
Yeah, we're
perspective.
doing, like, the fans.
So, we could go on and on. It's just, now it's time to get ready to go kick some ass.
Oh, hell yeah.
Halloween 3, it's gonna be a fucking bomb, and Louisville ain't fucking ready. They ain't ready for
No one is
anything.
ready.
No.
No one is ready for this one.
Fucking thought Hiroshima and Nagasaki was bad. Fucking
Louisville 2022, man.
Yep.
Going down in the history books.
Yep.
So before we wrap this up, I gotta say thank you, Stoneface Killer, for coming down here doing this interview. I appreciate it so much, man. I definitely want to do more. I want to get everybody together at one point in time and be like, this is the group that started this shit off for me,
Yeah.
and I want to get everybody together for that at some point in time.
Just gotta give me a call on a date. That's all I need. Fucking, but yeah, thank you for having me, man. Fucking, just being able to sit here and talk music and just
Some personal shit
Yeah.
at the same time.
just give my input and be like, okay, I'll go out and I'll go kick some ass tonight, and I will see you in the crowd.
One other question before we go.
Shoot.
Is there any specific names that you want to throw out there of, like, who would you like to work with at some point in time in the future? Like, that is within reach of, like, I can reach out to them and maybe get something from them?
Yep. Boondocks would be a big one. Of course, Buck. And then, honestly, I'd like to get a super feature track done with me, Crawley, Buck, and Boondocks. and maybe even class. Maybe if I can get the full
The
underground vendor feature,
UGA. Oh shit.
dude, that'd be like the epitome of perfection to me right now.
That'd be when you're fanboying like, oh my god.
Yep, definitely. No, I mean, it's just little shit like that. Like, those guys, I know they're, as you say, within reach. Possibly. I don't know about class, but only time will tell.
Yeah, and they'll be there at the show. Again to everybody. Hollow Bleed 3, Louisville, Kentucky, October 15th, 2022. We got UGA, we got Lil White, we got, oh my god, the name is just fucking bombing, man.
Put it this way, if you're not here, you missed out on a once-in-a-lifetime show, and I feel sorry for you.
Oh yeah. Again, this is AAC Music Entertainment Interviews, Stoneface Killer Interview. I'm your host, AAC, the kid, the one and only, host the most, coast to coast. You know what it is, you know what it does.
Deuces.
Much love, everybody. Peace out.